absolutely love when the music festival is going on. Love DJ Gege. And it's probably almost over, but I just love it. It's great to see some recent clients, Kyle, Alfonso, and Cube. Fuchsia's here too, but Kyle, Alfonso, and Cube are all really recent. And so that is fantastic. I suppose I should be doing a little dancing while I'm out here. But anyway, I think I am interested in, I think this is Monty. I want a place where I can investigate cool mysteries. I think that sounds pretty fascinating. Monty, I think I want to know more. I want to know more about your mysteries, Monty. Let's talk. I ain't cut loose like this in a monkey's age. This is a hoot. Okay, Monty. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself on the island, and maybe you want to come back to every music festival we have here. I am giving you a stare down because I do vacation homes, and it is nice to meet you too. Let's have a chin wag. Gatang. Happy to do it, Gatang. So, yeah, what have you got that's mysterious? Mystery Solver Club. Very interesting, Monty. Okay, so that just looks like desk stuff, so we'll definitely have a detective's office of some kind. What kinds of mysteries are you going to be solving? You know, I am tempted, Monty, to put you in the desert so that I could have like a sphinx and a pyramid. Like you're investigating, some of the mysteries you're investigating are the historical Egyptian ones, and maybe inside have more of a city mystery feel. I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to go with this desert idea. And since that's the case, I think I'm going to go with this location because for the Sphinx and the pyramids, I really need some space. So let's go ahead and go with this, Monty. This might be a different take than what you are usually thinking of, but those Egyptian mysteries just are kind of ringing a bell for me for your mysteries. We'll see what other items you've got too, but since I don't know that yet, we'll just go with it. We're going to go with it, Monty. And I always do 2-level homes, so that's what we're going to go with. All right, we'll head out immediately. This is the location, and it's interesting. I used this site very recently for Cube, but his eco factory was a very different concept than this. So we're going to transform this space into a completely different situation than that. Okay, so still pretty desk office kind of themed. Maybe a mysterious vase? I don't know. It's interesting. We'll put you in maybe definitely in the detective stuff. Okay, that's great. We'll get a detective feel going that way. Interesting, Monty. I feel like you are just leaving a lot of space for me to do whatever kind of mysteries I want. So I'm definitely going to go with that Egyptian theme out here, but inside we might go for some more kind of hard-boiled city detecting. So you just give me some time, Monty, and we'll see what I can do with your Mystery Solver Club. All right, Monty, do I ever have a treat for you? Your Mystery Solver Club got me really inspired. And so there's a lot to this. Let's begin on your outside. So here, let me take you to the Giza Plateau. Unfortunately, there's only one size of pyramid in the game, and these 3 pyramids are very much different sizes. But that's okay. We're just going to go with them all being the same size. And in front of each pyramid, there was a funerary. And so this is far too big for that, but I'm using the forbidden altar with the little skull radio on top to kind of indicate that. So this backmost pyramid is actually supposed to be the smallest, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to pronounce this right, but Menkaure is that smallest pyramid, and then the next bigger one is Khafre, and then Khufu, and Khufu is the biggest. And so this is sort of the orientation that they are on the Giza Plateau, and you can see in the frontmost position is the Sphinx. And so the reason I have this here is because, you know, there has just been tons of speculation and research and mysteries surrounding the construction of the pyramids, their purposes, all sorts of things. And so I just think that fits in very well to your Mystery Solver Club. And so I've just given you the full Giza Plateau, and a little tongue-in-cheek, I've added a couple of UFOs, flying saucers with little aliens, because one theory is that the Egyptians had a little bit of extraterrestrial help. And so I don't believe that. I think the Egyptians did perfectly fine on their own, but I just thought it was kind of fun to put the flying saucers on the Giza Plateau. So notice your outfit with your deerstalker cap and your trench coat looking very much like Sherlock Holmes. Well, that's where we're headed next. And notice that Nico is also wearing a deerstalker cap, and so he is in on it as well. And sure enough, your home is on 221B Baker Street, and you can see the dude himself with his pipe out front. So let's go ahead and go inside. Okay, lots to unpack here, Monty. First of all, just an overview. This is meant to be Sherlock Holmes' rooms in 221B Baker Street. I've made it a rainy England day outside with this window, and you can see he's got a bunch of bookshelves. But what I have added, in addition to lovely little tea set in the middle, is some various items that will remind us of various stories written by Arthur Conan Doyle starring Sherlock Holmes. So just a little bit careful. There are some spoilers in my explanations here. So I will say the story first, and if you have not read that story and don't want to be spoiled at all, then you just might want to fast forward a little bit, because some of them won't give anything away, but some of them might give things away. So first of all, just some umbrellas here because it's raining outside, so of course there'd be umbrellas by the door, another trench coat, and another quintessential deerstalker cap. So this first wall here with the word, I don't know how it's pronounced, it's in German, so maybe Rache, but R-A-C-H-E. This comes from A Study in Scarlet, that piece, and this word means revenge in German, and it was written in red on the wall in that story. The pearl comes from the sign of the four, and Mary Marston is introduced in this one. This is Watson's future wife, and she has been receiving pearls from an anonymous person. This adorable little dog here, this puppy, represents the Hound of the Baskervilles. So I know this little doggy won't install fear in anyone, but that is what he is representing. This book here, from the Valley of Fear, is meant to be an almanac. And in the Valley of Fear, there is a book cipher that Holmes figures out. The book that is needed to crack the code is an almanac. And so this book is meant to be that almanac. The mask here is from A Scandal in Bohemia. Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes are visited by a masked gentleman, and so this mask is representing that. The paper tiger here represents a case of identity. A quote from the work that is attributed by Holmes as a Persian saying is, "There is danger for him who taketh the tiger cub, and danger also for whoso snatches a delusion from a woman." And even though Holmes has solved the mystery, he ends up not telling his client because he knows she won't believe him. There's some love involved. And so anyway, that is what the tiger represents. So this is an eel, but it is meant to represent a snake. And there is definitely a huge spoiler here. So I'll just tell you now that this represents the adventures of the Speckled Band. And so the spoiler is, I definitely mean for this to represent a snake, because the Speckled Band turns out to be a poisonous snake. This is Sherlock Holmes' violin, which he is known for playing. So that has that position here. This crown represents the adventure of the barrel coronet, and the barrel coronet is a crown, so that's what that's for. This candlestick is really actually just a candlestick. So this blue ring in this ring case, this is representing the adventure of the blue carbuncle, and the blue carbuncle is a priceless gemstone. And so this was as close as I could get to a blue priceless gemstone. This is a model of a honeybee. Sherlock Holmes is known to have really liked bees, and it said that when he retired, he kept bees. So that's what I have that for. And here is Sherlock Holmes' desk. Nothing significant here other than I have some writings and some papers, but that was just, Monty, you had required this desk and chair, so this is where I put them. In the corner here, you'll see this rocking horse. The rocking horse represents the adventure of Silver Blaze. Silver Blaze is a racehorse, and so this little rocking horse is meant to represent Silver Blaze. And I thought the white was about as close as I could get to silver. The cardboard box represents the adventure of the cardboard box. So enough said about that. The gold nugget represents the adventure of Gloria Scott. Mr. Trevor, the father of an old friend of Holmes and a central character in the work, made his fortune in the gold fields of Australia. So that's what that piece of gold is for. The maid's dress represents the adventure of the Musgrave ritual. Part of the plot concerns the disappearance of a maid and a butler, so the maid's uniform is representing that. Next up, and this is going to be a partial spoiler for the adventure of the Crooked Man. It's not too much of a spoiler, but in the adventure of the Crooked Man, there's a wooden box, and there is this crooked man carrying a wooden box, and the box is used for something important to the story. I'm not going to give it away, but it is definitely an important piece in the story. The ship in the bottle on top of the box represents the adventure of the naval treaty. Naval, ship in a bottle. That's as deep as that goes. I've got a dollhouse in this case here, and that dollhouse is to represent The Adventure of the Empty House. There's nobody in the dollhouse, so it is representing the adventure of the empty house. This little stick toy here, which I think you can bop around a little bit. The little stick toy is meant to represent the adventure of the dancing men, sorry. The client gives Holmes a piece of paper with a mysterious sequence of stick figures written on it. So this little dancing stick toy is meant to represent that. And finally, the lion up above on the, whoops, my wall is in the way there. The lion up above the dollhouse on the wall, that lion is meant to represent the adventure of the lion's mane. So I just had so much fun collecting items to be here in Sherlock Holmes' home. And aside from this cluttery corner here, I think most of the pieces just kind of fit in pretty well. And it does just look like some things that he might have acquired, over his time. And so I think that's a lot of fun. So a special shout out to my uncle, who is a huge Sherlock Holmes scholar. And so I'm hoping I didn't mess up anything too much. And maybe he'll let me know if I did. And maybe he will help me make this room even better. And I can add additional stuff to represent even more of Holmes's life and work in this room. Okay, so Monty, let's go ahead and go upstairs. Upstairs, we're going to immortalize another famous fictional character who is involved in mystery, and that's Lord Peter Wimsey, created by Dorothy L. Sayers. I just love the Lord Peter Wimsey books, and so this room is dedicated to those works. The piano in the middle, Lord Peter Wimsey was very talented on the piano, so I've put that there. And you'll see some various books around. He was very into first editions and very early versions of books. So now we'll go through the pieces that are meant to represent the mysteries, the Lord Peter Wimsey mysteries. This one's a little tough to see, but in this case, you'll see there's a pair of small glasses. I have it in the case to try to mask the fact that there are sunglasses in the game, but they're supposed to be a pair of pince-nez, those little glasses that just squeeze onto the bridge of the nose and don't have any things that go back behind the ears. So that is important in the first book of Lord Peter Wimsey's series, Whose Body?, where a body is discovered in a bathtub wearing only a pair of pince-nez. I thought about the bathtub, but I thought just having this case fit better than having a bathtub in here. So then we have some cards on this table, and the cards are representing the second book in the series, Clouds of Witness. And one of the suspects speaks of a letter in which the murdered man has been accused of cheating at cards. And so that's what these cards are for. The wine glass on the edge of that table is meant to represent Unnatural Death, the next book in the series. And Wimsey's manservant, Bunter, who is very important in the series as well, matches fingerprints on a wine glass. Oh, and this is a spoiler, just by the by. So if you haven't read Unnatural Death yet, you might just want to skip forward just a tiny bit. Bunter matches fingerprints on a wine glass to a check written by someone else. So these two things that should have been two different people both end up having the same fingerprints on them, which leads Wimsey to figure out that the two different people are actually the same person, which is very important to the plot. So this bed and its chair next to it represents the unpleasantness at the Bologna Club, where one person dies in their bed and another person dies in an armchair, and all of a sudden it becomes very important to figure out who died first because of a will and this various stuff. And so Wimsey has to determine who died first between those two individuals. The clock is just here for decor. The next important thing is the contents of this skillet. This represents strong poison, another book in the series that's next. And this is another big spoiler. The murder weapon is an omelet poisoned with arsenic. So this little frying pan is supposed to contain that omelet. The next thing here is this painting, and this painting is to represent 5 red herrings, which centers around the death of a painter. The next book in the series have his carcass. A body is found on an isolated rock on a shore, and so that's what this rock is meant to represent. This pile of newspapers over here is meant to represent Murder Must Advertise, a book that I really loved in the series. I just thought it was very, very fun. I like what Lord Whimsy does in this one. He works as a junior copywriter in order to get to the bottom of the death of a man who fell down a staircase. And so that's what those newspapers are meant to represent. So you may be wondering what this huge bell is doing here. This and the rock really stand out as some things that perhaps really don't belong in the room. But in the book, The Nine Tailors, bell tolling is extremely important in that book. And there's a lot of time spent talking about these bells that get rung in a bell tower by these various people, and they all have to work together in order to play the songs. And so I thought this bell was perfect to represent that. This little pen with an ink pot and paper here is meant to represent Gaudy Night, in which there are a bunch of poison pen messages written. And so that's what that represents. And finally, this wall plant here is what I have selected for Busman's honeymoon, where the murder weapon ends up being a weighted plant pot on a chain. So yes, another spoiler there. So this is the room dedicated to Dorothy L. Sayers' character, Lord Peter Wimsey. So, Monty, I'm going to have you do your official tour here in this room, the Sherlock Holmes room, particularly since you are dressed in it and since it's the one I spent the most time on. So, Monty, what do you think? Oh, it's ready, bud. Oh, excellent. Well, take a good look and maybe you'll figure out a mystery or two while you're at it. Oh, there's that empty house. Love that carpet. Rug. There you go, sitting at your desk, figuring stuff out. Hoping the rain lets up soon. Well, you know, I try, Gatang. Well, since your vacation home is called Mystery Solvers Club, I thought it would be a good idea to invite a few friends to solve the mysteries with. So you just cool your jets there for a moment, and I'm going to grab you a few friends. All right, Monty, let the Mystery Solver Club commence. Had to bring Anka because of her expertise in ancient Egyptian times, as she is the Queen of the Nile. So, had to bring her. She is usually a resident on my island representing Cleopatra from Antony and Cleopatra. So we needed her insights. We've got Lionel here, who kind of reminded me of Lord Peter Wimsey, and so he's looking fabulous in his... Oh, nice. So Anka has gotten out her magnifying glass. She is ready to get down to business. I appreciate it, and I hope she gets to the bottom of things, too. Looks like Flurry is taking pictures, another important thing to do in order to... collect some evidence. Why is Flurry here? Because she's adorable. I have no other reason other than that. She's adorable, and I thought the outfit might look cute on a hamster. And I was right. Ace. I thought Ace sounded like a good name for somebody who might be into solving crimes. And so that's what Ace is doing here. So I think I've really assembled a crackpot team here. Looks like Lionel is checking his phone. Maybe he's going to take some pictures. Maybe he's just checking social media. It's hard to tell with Lionel. Now he's just having a drink. So but you know, that is very Lord Peter Wimsey-ish right there. So if I've kind of got him representing the whimsy side, then I think I've got the right guy. Because definitely Anka is here for the outside, Lionel is here for the upstairs, and everybody else is just here to be part of the club. Oh, good. Glad to see Lionel taking some pictures of the scene. Oh, he's shocked. He is shocked at what he's seen. Okay, well, very good. Well, I think we have had a good glance at the Giza Plateau and the aliens that are hanging around. Let's go ahead and go into 221B Baker Street. Lionel is excited about doing that, for sure, because the Mystery Solver Club needs to assemble. Excuse me, Lionel. I need you to scoot over just a tad so I can open this door. Okay, so here we are at 221B Baker Street. Glad to see you with your magnifying glass out, Monty. That is good to see. Looks like Ace approves. He's nodding. People are just kind of getting their bearings. Wow. It looks like the umbrella stand. Something seems afoot with the umbrella stand. We have a lot of interest here in the umbrella stand. Fascinating. Well, Monty, I think it was a good idea for you to assemble everybody around the tea table to sort of lay the ground rules of the Mystery Solver Club. I mean, we've assembled a crackpot bunch of a crack team. Maybe not crackpot. We've assembled a really great team to be part of your Mystery Solver Club. I mean, it looks like Flurry's reading up on things just to make sure she's abreast of the latest crime-solving techniques, and she is shocked and amazed. Everybody's loving the tea, and Anka decides meeting adjourned. Okay, so it looks like Ace is on the case of the blue carbuncle. It looks like Monty's checking out the barrel coronet. Looks like Lionel's given a close look to Sherlock Holmes's violin. Anka's decided to sit a spell and have some tea. Oh, and Flurry is having a great time with the Hound of the Baskervilles. Looks like this Hound of the Baskervilles just wants to play. And thank goodness, because any hound could make a quick meal of the little hamster Flurry here. So I'm glad this representation is a friendly one. Boy, more interest in that umbrella stand. Boy, that umbrella stand represented nothing except the fact that it rains in this town, so inexplicable. But maybe the Mystery Club is going to solve a mystery that I didn't even intend. All right, let's check out Lord Peter Wimsey's place. So take a look around, folks. What do you see? What do you see? Ace decides to have a seat. Hopefully he doesn't have the same fate as the person who sat in the chair that actually represents someone in the story. who died. Monty's got himself a little popsicle. Oh, he's put it away. As soon as I called him on it, he decided to hide that. What is Anka checking out? Oh gosh, be careful, Anka. Be very, very careful. That potted plant was used as a murder weapon, so watch yourself, girl. Watch yourself. Nice, Ace. Looking for more clues with your magnifying glass. I just think they are all adorable in their little outfits. I think they are going to make a heck of a detective club for you, Monty. Okay, well, I think everybody's all settled in, except perhaps Lionel might be a little upset that you're sitting in the piano seat, but he's moved on. So I'm going to move on too. Just in case. Oh, how very clever, Monty. How punny of you to use the word case. With your mystery club surrounding you. Well, I think my job is done here. I hope you love your new vacation home, and I hope you love the group I've assembled for you to be part of your mystery solver club. Perfect, Tang. Enjoy.